10 times in Japan that made me think, wow, what a safe place. Number one, muggings, street crime, street violence. Very, very rare in Japan. I've only lost my wallet twice, and that was out of lack. I was just not paying attention to my surroundings and left my wallet on a phone, a public phone one time. I got the money back. I had to pay a 10% reward to the person. All the money in the wallet, I had to pay 10% to them as a reward for turning it in. I didn't mind doing that because I would have been out a month's pay if they hadn't turned it in for me. But street crime, random crime, muggings, theft, very, very rare in Japan. Number two, how do you save your seat when you go to a place like Starbucks? So when you go in, there's a big line usually at the cashier, and what you're supposed to do is go find a seat, put something on that table like a handkerchief, a backpack, or a phone, and then go order your drink. They will ask you, have you already got a seat? Because they know it's going to be crowded. They know if you get a drink and then look for a seat after that, they know you probably won't find a seat. So they encourage you to find a seat before you order your drink. Well, I've left my phone, I've left my camera bag. It's got a couple $1,000s worth of equipment in it. Left it there on the table, come back, it's still there. Number three, when I walk through my building, I will sometimes see Amazon boxes at my neighbor's front door, and they've been there all day long and nobody even touches it. I've come home after vacation, forgot that I ordered something from Amazon Prime, and my box is on my doorstep. Right there, nobody's touched it, nobody's bothered it. Number four, tire shops leave tires out on the curb overnight. Thousands of dollars worth of parts, nobody touches them. I've also seen construction sites where the construction workers leave some of their tools out there overnight. Heavy equipment, expensive equipment, parts, and nobody bothers them. They just leave them there. So number five, restaurants will leave food or alcohol, beer, on the curb outside of their restaurant. So storage is very limited. Space is at a premium. So restaurants will leave vegetables and alcohol on the curb or to the side of the restaurant. I don't think I've ever heard of somebody stealing a beer off the curb. If it happens, it's very rare. Number six, there was that time I left my phone in a taxi. When I realized I'd lost it, I used my friend's phone to call my own phone. The taxi driver picked up, asked me where I was, brought the phone to me, and would not let me pay him for bringing the phone back. I was blown away. Number seven, women can walk around at night and be totally safe. Now, I know plenty of coworkers who work late, 10 o'clock at night, they're walking from the station to home, maybe it's a 10, 15-minute walk, and nobody ever bothers them. It's a very safe place, even for young women. Number eight, you've probably seen this on social media, children walking to school on their own. It's a very safe place. Kidnappings, assaults, very, very rare. And even though independence is not encouraged as a social construct, independence as in walking yourself to school is encouraged. 9, political unrest. You'll very rarely see a demonstration in Japan. They're actually very organized. Sometimes you'll see them with a police escort walking with a banner and a megaphone going down the street. There might be an opposing protest or a counter protest, but never, you don't get any violence as you might see in the West. Number 10, scams. Tourists are very safe in Japan because restaurants, hotels are not going to scam them. They're not going to overcharge you. Now, there is a case for charging more for tourists, for example, to climb Mount Fuji. There is a case being made right now because of the over-tourism issue to have a menu for foreigners and a menu for Japanese. A lot of people are pushing back against that. A lot of Japanese are pushing back against that. And what happens to the foreigner who can read Japanese and say, hey, how come the Japanese menu is cheaper? But scams against foreigners are very rare. You're not going to have those money changer scams that happen in some countries where they offer to change money from your currency into Japanese yen, but they end up giving you something that's not yen and it's totally worthless or worth a lot less. That rarely happens in Japan. Now, every once in a while, you'll go into a restaurant that has a table charge, and they will tell you they have a table charge. It will be on the menu at the very bottom in the fine print. And that can sometimes make foreigners feel like they're getting scammed. But if you look at the menu and notice that there's a table charge, they might charge 1,000 yen per person to use the table. Or there might be a service charge. Don't be surprised by that. It's pretty standard. It happens in a lot of countries around the world. Now, since Japan's such a safe country to live and work, a lot of people are thinking about coming here to get a job. And what kind of jobs can a foreigner do in Japan? Got a video about that right here. Check it out.